Good day, everyone.
I am Mary Ann Bacani.
And I am Micah Shaina Masindo. We are going to present the history of Miguel Malvar, not Manuel Quezon, should be the second Philippine president.
Manuel Luis Quezon Molina, born August 19, 1878 at Malvar, Philippines. At the age of 9, he went to Manila as a mess boy to study at the Colegio de San Juan de Latran. 1894, he graduated summa cum laude at the University of Santo Tomas for his Bachelor of Arts. 1894, he took law studies there, but it was cut short due to the Filipino-American War. Quezon Law School studies were cut short due to the outbreak of the war, with the Americans he served as an aide-de-camp or personal secretary to Emilio Aguinaldo. He rose the rank of first lieutenant captain to major and fought in Bataan. Quezon was the son of a school teacher and a small landholder of Tagalog descent on the island of Quezon. He cut short his law studies at the University of Santo Tomas in Manila in 1899 to participate in the struggle for independence against the United States, led by Emilio Aguinaldo. After Aguinaldo surrendered in 1901, however, Quezon returned to the university, obtained his degree in 1902, and practiced law for a few years, convinced that the only way to independence was through cooperation with the United States. He ran for governor of Tayabas province in 1905. Once elected, he served for 2 years before being elected a representative in 1907 to the newly established Philippine Assembly. In 1909, Quezon was appointed resident commissioner for the Philippines, entitled to speak but not vote in the U.S. House of Representatives. During his years in Washington, he fought vigorously for a speedy grant of independence by the United States. Quezon played a major role in obtaining Congress passage in 1916 of the Jones Act, which pledged independence for the Philippines without giving a specific date when it would take effect. The act gave the Philippines greater autonomy and provided for the creation of a bicameral national legislature modeled after the U.S. Congress. Quezon resigned as a commissioner and returned to Manila to be elected to the new formed Philippine Senate in 1916. He subsequently served as its president until 1935. In 1922, he gained control of the Nacionalista Party, which had previously been led by his rival Sergio Osmeña, which provided for full independence for the Philippines 10 years after the creation of a constitution and the establishment of a Commonwealth government that would be the forerunner of an independent republic. Quezon was elected president of the newly formulated Commonwealth on September 17, 1935. Quezon was re-elected president in 1941. After Japan invaded and occupied the Philippines in 1942, he went to the United States, where he formed a government in exile, served as a member of the Pacific War Council, signed the Declaration of the United Nations against the fascist nations, and wrote his autobiography, The Good Fight 1946. Quezon died of tuberculosis before full Philippine independence was established. Party under the leadership of Manuel Quezon and Sergio Osmeña dominated Philippine politics from 1907. Rojas was later opposed by Quezon, who held that the act compromised future Philippine independence. Osmeña Sergio. He was succeeded by Manuel Quezon, who had joined him in a coalition, made Speaker of the House of Representatives, also called Philippine Commonwealth and Independence Act 1934, the U.S. statute that provided for Philippines independence to take effect on July 4, 1946. After a 10-year transitional period of Commonwealth government, the bill was signed by U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt on March 24, 1934, and was sent to the Philippine Philippine Senate for approval. Officially, the National Historical Commission of the Philippines considers Manuel L. Quezon to be the next president by virtue of the creation of the Philippine Commonwealth and the elections of 1935. However, there are arguments to be made that suggest that there was a direct successor to Aguinaldo's presidency. A true son of the revolution, Miguel Malvar took up the reins of the revolutionary government after Aguinaldo was captured in Palanan, Isabela on March 23, 1901. He held out for at least a year before he too eventually surrendered. Malvar was the prototypical katipunero officer, a far cry from the peasant farmers who made up the majority of Katipunan rank and file. The Malvars were famously wealthy in their hometown of Santo Tomas. Malvar could have easily lived a privileged life. He studied in private schools around Santo Tomas, Lipa, and Tanawan, but chose not to pursue higher education in Manila. He instead chose to take up the sickle and go into farming, buying up land around his hometown and near Mount Makiling, planting oranges and other crops.
Is there a major glitch in the Philippine history? Some evidence about the history of Manuel Quezon. According to Vice President Jejomar Binay, General Miguel Malvar is the rightful second president of the Philippines. In fact, Binay has sought the help of historians is rectifying what could be an oversight in proclaiming the revolutionary leader as the second president of the Philippines. In his letter to National Historical Commission, Chair Maria Serena Diokno and heads of history departments of various universities and colleges, Binay said he received information that Malvar was General Emilio Aguinaldo's right hand and during the war against the United States and took over command when Aguinaldo was captured by American forces. Your help would be very valuable in setting the record straight and giving General Malvar the recognition he deserves, Binay wrote Diokno and the history department heads. The Vice President learned of the claims during the preparations for the General's death centenary last October 14 in Batangas, where he was the keynote speaker. He said some sectors argued that since Malvar was second in command and took over Aguinaldo, who was the first Philippine President, Malvar was the legitimate successor to the presidency after Aguinaldo's capture. The recognized second president of the country is Manuel Quezon, who served as president during the Commonwealth period after the fall of the First Republic. Historian Manuel Luis Manolo Quezon III, grandson of the recognized second president, said that these claims are decided by consensus and the vice president's call can lead to a determination by historians. Important to note what the revolutionary generation and those alive at the time believe Malvar was recognized by his valor but not as successor, Manolo Quezon said in an interview with Yahoo Southeast Asia. He added that the issue will probably be taken into consideration if and when NHCP deliberated on Binay's proposal. What I have said a while back is a secondary source of information. So meaning, pananaw lang ni Binay na dapat na si Malvar ang maging karapat-dapat na maging second president ng Pilipinas. So there is no guarantee or assurance. So para sa akin, hindi naman ihahalili ng mamamayang Pilipino na maging second president si Manuel Quezon kung hindi nila siya nakikita maging karapat-dapat sa pwesto. Hindi naman kasi porket na kanang kamay ni Emilio Aguinaldo si Malvar ay siya na dapat ang maging second president. To sum it up, kinikilala lang ang kagitingan na ay pamalas ni Malvar pero hindi bilang isang karapat-dapat na maging second president.